Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the NITheCS Colloquium. This afternoon, we have a panel prepared, a panel discussion. You all know, sorry, I should introduce myself. I always forget. My name is Francesco Petruccione, and I'm the interim director of NITheCS. Yeah? So as I said, this afternoon, we have prepared a panel discussion. You all know that we are celebrating the International Year for Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, and the year started in July. It's a UNESCO International Year. And we had already one or two panel discussions on the topic, but specifically one of the main topics of the International Year for Basic Sciences is strengthening education and scientific training in basic sciences. Yeah, and the topic that we want to address this evening is: are we doing enough to train and educate our postgraduate students so that they can complete their honors, masters, and PhD degrees successfully? Yeah, and with me here this afternoon, you can see them at the top of your screen. We have Professor David Holgate from the University of the Western Cape, Dr. Eder Kikianty from the University of Pretoria, Professor Miek Messerschmidt, also from the same university, and Professor Will Horowitz from UCT. Yeah, and as usual, there is also Professor Eder Kikianty, but in his role of co-host of these events, and he's welcome to participate as well, because the issues is relevant to him as well. Yeah. So I would like to suggest that we start with a brief introduction of the panelists. Then I will ask David Holgate, Eder, and Miek to present one of the active programs that we have in the country to support postgraduate training in mathematics and statistical sciences. And then between myself and Professor Will Horowitz, we will briefly describe some activities that the National Institute for Theoretical and Computational Sciences has started in support of the disciplines that we promote, and then we will see it from there. Yeah, we will start a discussion on the relevance of such initiative, on how they can be better coordinated, how they what needs they should address, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So let's start maybe with Eder. Eder, can I kindly ask you to introduce yourself, and maybe briefly also mention why you are here today, why this issue is in your heart. Yeah.
Thank you, Francesco, and good afternoon, towards evening, rather, to everybody. I'm Eder Kikianty. I'm currently working at the University of Pretoria in the mathematics department. I was born and raised in Indonesia and stayed there until my honor, and then I went to Australia to do my PhD. And afterwards, I got a postdoc in South Africa, and eventually got a position here in University of Pretoria. And my role basically here tonight is the co-chair of the National Graduate Academy Master's Course Program, in which Miek is a chair. He will explain about that a little later. And why this issue is, as Francesco put it, is in my heart, because I think it's very important for students in mathematics or in physics or any sort of theoretical and computational sciences, basic science, to broader foundation knowledge before going into a certain specializing their fields. It certainly is true for mathematics, and based on conversations with Will Horowitz, and this has also been in physics. So yeah, this is why I'm here tonight.
Thank you very much, Eder. And now I just follow the order in which the panelists appear on my screen. David, can I please ask you to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is David Holgate. I'm a professor of mathematics at University of the Western Cape. Why am I here? I'm involved in, I'll tell you a little bit just now about the National Graduate Academy. I think many people know about it, but one of the core projects when we started the National Graduate Academy was to share resources across the country for the teaching of postgraduate students. So I can't claim to have been doing much of the work. Most of the other people that you see on the panel have actually been doing the hard work, but I've been cheering from the sidelines from the beginning. But it's a project that we really believe can succeed and should succeed if we want to grow postgraduate training in our disciplines across the country. So that's why I'm here. I love mathematics, and I'm looking forward to having some mathematicians who will take over when I retire, which is getting closer by the day. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, but thank you, David, but we will need you for many more moons. Okay, now let's move on to Miek Messerschmidt. Miek, would you please like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Francesco, and good evening to everyone. So my name is Miek Messerschmidt. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Pretoria. Just to correct you, Francisco, I was not promoted very recently. So
but I'm sure you deserve it.
still senior lecturer. So I obtained my PhD from Leiden University, and I'm specialized in functional analysis and computational geometry. And the reason why I'm here tonight is because I am one of the driving forces behind what we call NGA coursework, or the coursework component that is graciously funded by the National Graduate Academy. And why is this something that is close to my heart is that I myself am a product of such a collaborative coursework institution. So I did my postgraduate studies in the Netherlands, where they have something called Master Math, which is a collaboration between all universities in the Netherlands in offering postgraduate training. And I found that to be a wonderful experience that I wouldn't trade for anything, and that I would like our own students to also have the opportunity to be a part of. So that is the reason why I'm here this evening.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Miek. Thank you. And Will, can I ask you to introduce yourself now?
Sure. Thank you, Francesco. So my name is Will Horowitz.
Okay.
I'm an associate professor of physics at the University of Cape Town. And I am the director of the South African Theory and Computational Sciences School. Again, very, very graciously and funded through the National Institute of Theoretical and Computational Sciences. So thank you, Francesco. And we started the program because we felt that there was both a need for additional formal teaching in South Africa in physics, but more broadly speaking in the themes of NITheCS. And also that we felt that when we started it last year during the middle of the pandemic, that people were used to both virtual teaching and also virtual learning. So it seemed like a really perfectly timed opportunity to create such a program. And we're very glad that it was successfully piloted last year and is growing this year, and we hope to continue to grow it in the years coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. And I just noticed that Professor Loyiso Nongxa just joined us. So Loyiso, would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Me?
Yes, please. And thank you very much for joining us. I know that
I just came back from a run. I'm sorry. And and I've got through. I'm Loyiso Nongxa. I'm retired, and I work with David and Eder and others. I do what they tell me to do. I used to be at WITS, and now I've got the appointments at Pretoria, WITS, and University of the Western Cape. Thanks.
Excellent. And would you like to tell us why the National Graduate Academy is at the center of your heart?
No, I'll die. David can do that on my behalf.
Okay, perfect. Then we are very grateful that you made the effort to join us, although you're not super well today. Thank you very much. And maybe last but not least, Ilya, since you are here, would you like to briefly introduce yourself as well?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Ilya Sinaiski, and I'm associate professor at School of Chemistry and Physics, University of KwaZulu-Natal. And my primary focus is open quantum systems and kind of corresponding directions of theoretical physics. And I think the subject of this panel is very interesting because I'm very strongly involved in the STEM training of our students, and yeah, the more the merrier.
Okay, thank you, Ilya. So our plan was to start with a brief description of the two programs that are represented here. Yeah, the National Graduate Academy in Mathematics and Sciences, and the school, the theory and computational school that NITheCS is setting up. Can I maybe ask some representatives of the NGA to give us maybe a brief overview of what it is all about, and maybe also a brief overview of the kind of courses that you offer. And then we will do the same on the NITheCS side, and then we can start a discussion, just to make sure that everybody knows what we are talking about.
Okay, I think maybe I should take that one. So I would like to talk about the what we call NGA coursework. So stands for National Graduate Academy coursework. And the idea is to pool the resources of all universities in South Africa in offering or in being a little bit more efficient in offering postgraduate studies or postgraduate courses to master's and PhD level students. So some master's programs at certain universities, they do have a coursework component, but the number of students makes the teaching of those coursework components sometimes a little bit inefficient. So you've got one student over here doing, for example, functional analysis, and another student at another university, and another student at another university. Then if these students are need to take master's level coursework, for example, in functional analysis, then each one of these universities, they need to expend resources in the training of these students. So the goal of NGA coursework is to pool the resources. So instead of having multiple people offering this roughly the same advanced level coursework to their particular one or two students at their own university, the aim is to then offer a national course in a certain discipline to all the students in South Africa, and thereby making the teaching a little bit more efficient. So we started this year. So last year in 2020, we applied for funding from the National Graduate Academy in Mathematical and Statistical Sciences. And they graciously agreed to provide us with some funding to get this project off the ground. So we started this year, and we started in the first semester. We offered two courses, one course in Banach spaces and locally convex spaces, which basically form the basis of advanced functional analysis, and also Banach algebras and spectral theory, which forms the basis for operator theory. And it was quite well received. We had roughly about 50 registrations, and between 10 and 15 active participants who actively participated in the live lectures, which is modest, but it is I think it is a healthy number of participants and displays the need that exists. And currently, this semester we are continuing with some advanced level coursework. So currently running is a course in category theory presented by Professor Zurab Janelice from Stellenbosch University, and starting very, very shortly is a course on partial differential equations and Sobolev space presented by Professor Jacek Benasiak from the University of Pretoria. And I think that is the elevator pitch that I needed to give, unless I missed anything. Maybe I'm looking to Eder and to David if I missed anything. Eder is shaking.
Maybe I can just add a little bit of background in case there's some people who don't know what the NGA, the National Graduate Academy, is about. So it began in 2016. There was a meeting called by the NRF looking at national doctoral training, really, in mathematics and statistics. So it grew out of that meeting, which was a forum, quite a widely representative forum. And then the NGA was established in 2017, wanting to pool the expertise and resources for training the next generation of mathematicians and statisticians. And now we exist as an organization with 22 of the 26 South African universities are actually members of the NGA, as well as the professional societies in mathematics and statistics. They're also part of the NGA, and also AIMS, the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences. So the NGA is a broader project, but one of the things that we had at heart right from the beginning was that we felt there would be both efficiency, but also it would be good for our broader community if we shared the teaching of higher level courses. So that's why the NGA coursework, which started this year, teaching masters in particular, but I think there's room for much broader coordination. I think it's also important that we're not aiming to produce a new qualification. We don't want to draw people from their universities to a central university. It really is a very flat structure where we're wanting to share everything. So I saw somebody put a comment about NASP. Certainly NASP is a model that has worked. I think the NGA and what we're wanting to achieve through the coursework is somewhat flatter and cutting across more platforms as well. But yes, we have certainly got lessons to learn from NASP and some other projects that have been running. And then maybe just to quickly add, Loyiso said I would introduce him. He's coughing and spluttering because he's had flu. But Loyiso Nongxa heads up the NGA. So that's really the context in which we have Loyiso here. Okay, I think that's just a bit of background that may be helpful for some people.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Miek and David. And let me maybe start by giving you a brief, really high-level overview of the NITheCS equivalent of the NGA, and then I will ask Will Horowitz to enter a little bit more detail on what is offered and what it is all about. Yeah. As most of you probably, all of you probably know, NITheCS is emerging out of the previous National Institute for Theoretical Physics, and we started using the acronym NITheCS roughly 2 years ago. Yeah, and what is very important to understand is that NITheCS is a research institute, but in our roadmap, yeah, in our blueprint, yeah, training is on equal footing as research, yeah? So that we were really tasked to do something to enhance the training opportunities in the 8 disciplines that NITheCS represents. Yeah? And the 8 disciplines are, of course, theoretical physics, because that's where we are coming from, yeah. But also mathematics and statistics, which is a little bit of overlap with the NGA, yeah. And then we have data science, astrophysics, the quantitative and computational aspects of biology, of finance, and of Earth systems modeling and climate change modeling. So essentially, we cover all basic sciences without chemistry at the moment. Yeah? Might come on board at a later stage, yeah? But by design, we cover these all 8 disciplines. Yeah? So we were also started to think, what can we do to improve training in the basic sciences that we represent. Yeah? And a little bit opportunistically, we started, and this is what at the moment differentiates us a little bit from the AGA at honors level, yeah? Because we were well aware, mainly from our previous theoretical physics being, yeah, that not all universities in South Africa have a wide offerings of honors courses in theoretical physics, yeah? And the same is true for all other subjects as well, yeah. And most NITheCS associates teach honors courses anyway, yeah. So we started opportunistic in just opening up the honors courses that some of us were teaching anyway, yeah. But of course, the plan is, of course, to build it up in a master's and PhD program, so including a little bit of coursework, and then facing the same challenges that the NGA is facing. Yeah. But maybe before we discuss those, I can maybe ask Will to give us a little bit more detail of the current offerings and what the future offerings might be. Will, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thought that perhaps it would be best if I share my screen where I bring up the SATACS website. Perhaps you can see the website here.
Yes, now we do.
Yeah, wonderful. So here you can find at NITheCS.ac.za, South African Theory and Computational School, our offerings for 2022. So we were providing courses starting in the first semester, and we've continued to provide courses in the second semester. Perhaps worth highlighting especially is the machine learning course, which started not too long ago. So if you'd like to jump in on that course, that is not impossible. And also the Quantum Field Theory 2 course, which will begin this coming Monday. But you can see that we have quite a distribution of 11 courses in mainly mathematics and physics, but with also some computer science, which we will presumably offer similar courses next year and again continue to expand. I would say that these really cross a range of very high level honors courses through MSc courses that were designed specifically for SATACS. And we've received very good feedback in terms of the level of quality of the teaching, but also in terms of the level of quality of the material. That the students find this extremely helpful as they prepare to do their research. I think that's really the main idea. And I leave the floor open for questions that are specific. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Will. Thank you. And I think so. After we presented the basic idea of the NGA and the NITheCS SATACS school, we would like to start a discussion around these themes. Yeah? And please, to the participants, make use of the Q&A to ask questions to the panel or make suggestions or criticisms or whatever. Yeah? I think I would like to maybe to start a discussion by picking on 2 points that David very nicely mentioned. Yeah, and the first one is that all this is about sharing. Yeah, it's not about being competitive and fight each other. It's just about offer in an as open as possible way courses across the country and making them accessible to as many students and maybe non-students as well, yeah, as possible. Would you like David to start to maybe to expand a little bit on this idea? We cannot hear you.
Thank you. Let me quickly share a slide that I had on, I suppose that if I can take that.
Yeah, maybe
okay.
You want to press the full screen button.
Yeah, I push
okay.
It's opened the full screen on my other screen, but not on this screen.
Okay, we can clearly see it. Don't worry, we can clearly see it. It's
I probably have to. I can stop sharing and share again.
No, don't worry. It was readable. It was perfect. Yeah.
No, it will share my full screen, I think. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's really perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So maybe I can show the one thing before. This is you may not agree, but I suppose that's essentially our vision for what we are doing with our experience at SATACS and NGA, is we wanted to grow into a national platform that operates across the universities and shares our resources. So that's the spirit in which we're working. And just some of the points as to why. But as Francesco said, it's about collaborating efficiently, not competing, but working together to lift the level of postgraduate training in our disciplines. And there's simply efficiency. Miek spoke about, having one student here, one student there, and making no sense from an efficiency point of view. But it's more than just that. I think that the efficiency is partly because of the numbers, but also because of the lecturing resources that we're able to share. Some of our universities are not as well resourced as others. So there's an efficiency in sharing with them as well. Some people may agree or disagree with the other point, that our current system doesn't really adequately prepare people for research in the disciplines that we're supporting. So there's a need for deeper coursework if we're going to really produce top-class researchers. So sharing courses, making sure that our students across the system have access to the best possible lecturers and resources is important. And that also allows us to level the playing field as such. We can share our advantage and our disadvantage. We can share our expertise. So I think that those are the core thoughts behind why it makes sense to do it. And as I said, some of those people may agree or disagree, but it does start with a mindset that we wanted to work together to build the disciplines that we're involved in. So yeah, those to me are the key things, and we can become bogged down in some of the practical difficulties, which there will be. But if we share the vision, then I think we've got a greater chance of overcoming the practical difficulties. So that's just something from my side that I can share.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, David. I think that's very, very useful. And that reminds me of that famous book of some 25 years ago that was called The Cathedral and the Bazaar, which was, I think, written by, I don't remember, Eric Raymond or something like that, discussing the differences between the traditional software development approach and the open source approach. Yeah? So we are sort of promoting the bazaar approach to education. Yeah? And there is one aspect that maybe we can ask panelists to comment, and it's very relevant to this discussion, because in the chat, the parallels to NASP were mentioned, yeah, which is another national program in which is astrophysics and space science program. It's also an honors, master's, PhD program. Yeah? But I think for what we have in mind, and between what we have in mind and the NASP model, there is a crucial difference. Yeah? And that is that the NASP model is hosted by a couple, I think it's 3 universities in the country. So the students really have to move there. Yeah. What we want to promote is a model where the students stay at their own institution. Yeah. So the NGA and SATACS are not planning to steal students from anyone. Yeah. The idea is that the students receive their credits and graduate at their home institutions. Yeah, so that's a fundamental difference to the NASP model. The spirit might be the same, yeah, but the practicality is a little bit different. Yeah, is any one of you wanting to comment on this aspect of our discussion? No. Okay. Nobody wants to comment.
I think maybe I should just reiterate what David said, that
yes,
this is not our project. This is really an aim of collaboration.
Yes.
And we can't do it on our own. And we really need both students and faculty at universities to buy into the project for it to be successful. So we must well, currently it's very early days. So we are, especially with the NGA, we are starting quite modestly. But if there are faculty at universities who, if they are going to be teaching a master's level course to their students, I would very kindly ask to consider perhaps offering that course nationally, to the benefit to all students in the country. And one of the things that we do to support this collaboration is to try and take care of the administration around doing that, so that faculty who might consider offering a course can focus on the course content without needing to be bogged down with any of the administration that goes around in offering a course so widely. So that is one of the things that we try to help with in this collaboration that we're trying to get off the ground.
Thank you, Miek. And there is also an aspect that was just mentioned in the chat, and that is that a side effect of this collaborative approach is that the students manage to get in touch with their peers at other institutions, yeah, that they probably would never be able to meet otherwise, yeah, or very unlikely, yeah, and that is very important to create the community of the next generation of academics, yeah, and it also provides network opportunity for the existing academics, yeah, that maybe they wouldn't interact so easily with each other without having such programs like the NGA and SATACS. Yeah. I don't know, Will, would you like to comment on the SATACS side to respond to Miek or to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all really of the same mind that we want to provide teaching to students a platform where people who wouldn't have had an opportunity to take a course can have that opportunity. So we want to be as inclusive as possible. So you can find an application link on the link that I provided earlier for the SATACS school. And we will look to circulate that website again prior to semester starting. So for example, in early 2023. We also would welcome applications from faculty to either make their current courses broadly available or for them to develop their courses for SATACS. We will also, again, circulate a request for that. Just to be 100% clear, in terms of inclusive, so through the generosity of NITheCS and also NGA, these courses are offered for free. So students, please, we are trying to have the lowest barriers to entry as possible. From the SATACS side, also, if there's a need for data in order to access the material, because these are often virtually taught courses, there is support available for data. And you also will be able to remain at your home institution. So that's another contrast with the NASP model. So the NASP model, at least the way it used to be, was students all came to, say, UCT and leaving their home institutions. And this caused us a fairly large amount of tension within the astronomy community. So we would like to reach out to students where they are, coming to them, bringing the courses to them.
No, thank you, Will. And one interesting aspect that we started experimenting is that, as Will said, all these courses are broadcast virtually, yeah, through whatever platform, Zoom or Teams or whatever. Yeah, but what we tried to experiment with is to organize local tutorials, yeah, so that students, if there are more students at one university attending the online course, we try to put in place a system where maybe we sponsor a tutor, yeah, a local tutor that takes care of the student that attend the online course, so that they can do their tutorial and practicals or whatever in person at their own institution. Yeah, and that is also part the attempt to allow the students that take the courses to get recognition in form of credits at their home institutions. Yeah? And that is something that we need to start a discussion with the department, with the universities that have an interest, yeah, and then of course also maybe with the Department of Higher Education and Training to see what systems we can put in place so that students that take part in these national academies or schools or get the credits that they deserve, yeah, so that it really makes sense. Because at the moment, the courses that NITheCS offers, students can take part, they learn things, but in most cases they don't earn credits unless they happen to reside at the university where the lecturer is based. Yeah? And that is something that we want to actively change, to really make it a national program where students can really profit and for the advancement of their academic journey. Yeah. As NITheCS, we have also a similar program that probably is not exactly part of the discussion, but shows how the journey can go. Yeah, and that is our internship program that we offer also at honors level. Yeah, and this is a program that allows honor students to spend a period of time at another institution, and if they coordinate it well with their local supervisor and with the internship supervisor, they can use that time to work on the research project, yeah, so that gets then evaluated and credited at their home institution. Yeah, and a similar system we would like to have also for the coursework. Yeah. Anybody else who would like to comment on this?
We received a question in the Q&A.
Sorry.
And maybe, yeah, maybe I can just read it and then respond.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So Anna Cristosomo, apologies for the last name, wrote, "At present, do these courses generate certificates to indicate course completion, so students have proof of their..." And would say within the SATACS courses, the default is that we generally do not provide certificates because these are fairly high level courses in areas that are of fundamental importance, such as say quantum field theory. And so there's students have not generally asked for certificates, but students have asked for certificates for, say, the machine learning course. And we're very happy to provide certificates for any student who would request them. And we're very, very happy to provide the credit that we can before the official credit. We're able to find ways to find official credit, as Francesco talked about.
Yeah, no, because we can happily certify anything, yeah, but it doesn't have any real legal value, yeah, because it's not accredited with the Department of Higher Education and Training. It's not accredited with the home institution. So this is the hurdle that we need to work towards too. Yeah, and I think there is a raised hand. Let me see if I can give. Sorry, where are you? Here we go. Maggie, you are allowed to ask your question.
Okay. Thank you very much for a nice initiative. I really supported it, but I have a question, because for the honors program, already the institution have their own program. So if they're going to come for a visit, how long will it be for a visit? And then who will take care of the financial part? And the third one will it be for all the honors students, or maybe the institution will pick maybe a certain number of students for the visit? Thank you very much.
Maybe Maggie, I can start answering the question, and maybe Will and the others can continue. Yeah, one of the reasons why we started the SATACS school, yeah, was because we realized that not all universities in the country offer all courses that they should offer. Yeah, so there is really a need to broaden the kind of offerings. For instance, courses like Will mentioned, quantum field theory, they're not offered at honors level at all universities in the country. Yeah, That might have different reasons. Could be that there are not enough students to justify that, but maybe also that there is not the in-house capacity to teach that course. Yeah. So that was the gap that we wanted to bridge. Yeah, I don't know, anybody else who would like to, I didn't really understand the financial question, but maybe somebody else picked up the just because the acoustic was not great. Will, I see you are almost intent at speaking, so please go ahead.
Oh, that's always the case.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, in terms of the financials and in terms of the visiting, so at least in our vision for SATACS, and I believe also for the NGA, the idea is for the students to remain at their home university. So in a world with, I mean, we had considered some ideas of maybe having some short courses where to help support the community. There might be short courses where we would bring students together, so they'd physically be learning together. But at the current stage, all our courses are taught perhaps locally, but then broadcast virtually, and students are enabled to participate in the course and encouraged to work together through these virtual means that we're all learning, for example, through Zoom or through online whiteboards. And so we do not have currently students coming physically together. Yeah, so, and I guess Anna follows up with, for case where students are not registered with the university for whatever reason, can they still follow a course? Absolutely. So we welcome students who are, for example, at University of Johannesburg in a course that is broadcast from the University of Pretoria. We also have students who are at the undergraduate level, at the honors, at the MSc, at the PhD level. We've had participation from faculty who perhaps are experts in one area and would like to either refresh their memory of certain courses or to broaden their expertise. We've also allowed participants from other countries and other institutions, which are, maybe they are universities, but they may also be a national lab or some other sort of academic type institution. Basically, we try to be as inclusive as possible.
Thank you, Will. And I see, sorry, David would like to reply or comment. David, please.
Yeah, thank you. Just to add to that, the NGA coursework, we did facilitate some people to get credit at their home universities for the courses they did. And that's one of the obstacles, I guess, that as time goes by, we would like to be able to cross more easily, and we need buy-in from the administrative side of our universities. But the NGA coursework, we did manage to do that. So people from other universities got credit, but and again, to stress that they need to be registered for an equivalent course at their home university. They are not registering for one of the centralized courses. The teaching is centralized, but the course was one that they registered for at their home university. And then another point, I asked Zurab Yanelidze, who's in the room, if he wanted to share something just from his perspective as someone who's taught. So Zurab has taught on both the SATACS and the NGA platforms. It might be nice to hear from him. Has it been a good experience? We're claiming it's a good experience. And I didn't pay Zurab. But I think he may be able to give us some insight from that point of view. Zurab is a professor at Stellenbosch University, and he's currently president of the South African Mathematical Society. But Zurab, if you're there, I see you virtually there.
No, Zurab has already been made a panelist, and he's welcome to reply to your challenge. Yeah.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, that's right. You haven't paid me yet. I think I still there is some funding attached to the lectures. Maybe that's one of the things that hasn't been mentioned up to now. But irrespective of the funding, I think it's a wonderful initiative. And in terms of my own experience, I'm loving both courses, and the students have convinced me that they're loving it too. So I think it's really an amazing opportunity. to be able to interact with students across the country. And I mean, the proportion of those who have registered and those who actually show up is quite big. Much less actually show up than registered. It might be that they are following the course in their own time. I haven't been able to measure that. But those who are showing up, they're consistently there, and they are extremely dedicated to, they're engaged during the lecture. And yeah, it's really an amazing thing. One of the other things that I really like about this online offering mode is that it's possible to record the lecture, which I do. And so we have, and then I post these recordings on my website, so I will be able to use it in the future as well. And that's another great opportunity to be able to do that. Yeah, I think that's all I can say. Maybe the next step should be to do something similar at the undergraduate level and maybe even at the school level. But that's where I will stop.
Thank you, Zurab. Maybe we sort out the school in another session. Yeah, that would be probably a little bit too much. I would be very interested to hear if there is any student in the audience who attended one or more of these courses and who would like maybe to share her or his experience briefly with us. Please raise your hand and I can give you immediately the rights to talk. If someone would like to. I think there were students that in the chat that confessed that they took part in the courses, but they seem not to be wanting to make statements orally. It's okay, no problem. Is there any aspect of the discussion that we haven't reached yet? Here we go. Here we have who raised his hand? Sorry, Eder, please, Eder, go ahead.
There are a couple of questions that we haven't answered in the chat. Victoria Okeo will ask about courses biomathematics. I think we have one specifically a moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miek, this course from Yashek Banazia, which is coming up on PDE and solveless, I think is probably applicable for some aspects of biomathematics, but probably not the whole. Well, I feel that biomathematics is such a umbrella for a lot of things. So there's more PDE flavor. Want to attend Professor Naziak's lecture. We think actually to start at the end of the month. I think person can probably still register for that. There's also a question if where is it again? Let's see. Maybe Will has answered this at all, but yeah, about regrets. Can they join the course? Well, of course, we invite everybody to participate. We also have semester students who completed their honors in the South African academic calendar, and then they're about overseas into hemisphere to start an OS, for instance, for their master, whatever. They have one semester of buffer stage, and they all participate in the course. So the difference is, can at the course we welcome everybody, but if one requires a credit transfer or credit being able to at their home institution, we can also help in that regard. So it's all for me.
No, thank you, Eder, and thank you for addressing the questions about biomathematics. Yeah. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, quantitative and computational biology is one of the disciplines of NITheCS as well. And we have several associates in that area, and we will try to encourage them to start offering courses in that discipline as well. There's one more. no, the question about the course certificate we have already discussed. Yeah. Okay, I see we are almost at the end of our hour. Yeah, so we have another nine minutes. Should we maybe ask each of our panelists to give us a last 1-2 minute statement? Should we start with David? David, you're the first one to appear on my screen.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think to just pick up where we started, essentially, that it's only going to work if other people share the vision. From my point of view, that's really important. I looked through the list of participants, and there are certainly many students, but also some academic colleagues. So my challenge, and maybe my question to you is, would you be willing to share a course that you're teaching on such a platform? It may be for selfish reasons that you get more exposure, you get a chance to attract more postgraduate students, or it may be altruistic that you believe it's just to the benefit of our academic community. And as Zurab said, you may even get an honorarium for doing so. But I think that to me is crucial. We're working hard. Francesco and I chatted to the deans of all the science faculties last week. We had a meeting with DVCs already, and we have another meeting coming up with USAF group. We wanted to lobby that administratively people support the project, but I think we need to go to the administrators with proof of concept, and we need to go to the administrators demonstrating that there's support for it. So we don't want artificial support, but that's really my challenge, I suppose, to the community, to get involved, because I think we all have the resources. It's just a case of sharing them. And that's what we'd like to see happen. So I look forward to getting comments in that regard from people. And please offer your course, get involved, because that's how it'll really start to fly.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. And I just quickly compiled a quick poll, so we will see if people answer and how they answer. Eder, you're next on my screen. Would you like to make your concluding remarks? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Francesco. Yeah, just to add on what it is saying, this idea of sharing and idea of we need support from everybody, because this is not our project. This is thing that should be seen as the South African community's project, and the idea of being more access on higher level, like masters, probably not into the system yet, but our master's program actually do not require work at this point. Also, there's some sort of informal component in several universities and things like that. But if we want to talk about competitively being, compared to other countries, I think this is quite important, because in many countries, it's actually baked into their system that their master's course actually requires some coursework. And especially for academics who are working in areas, they're quite require a lot of basic knowledge today. So for, I think, functional analysis and operator theory is one of the we to think about having stronger foundation for our students, so that our air can thrive, so to say. And if we, if any of the academics in the audience want to apply for presenting a course, I actually earlier pasted the course proposal page, so I'm going to do it again now on the chat, so you can go there up for or propose your course for the on the NGA platform. That's all from me.
Thank you, Eder. And Will, I think you are next in my, sorry, the order keeps changing. So Will, please, if you would like to make your final comments.
Super, thank you. So I think to sort of hit the major points that we've been making, we think that there's this need for formal teaching at the highest levels at the honors and then even beyond, especially beyond at the MSc level, for students to really succeed in creating world-leading research in our fields. We have this desire to share resources across universities, that maybe there's something that UJ has that UCT does not, and maybe UCT has something that WITS does not, so on and so forth. And so we would like to provide opportunities for students to engage with resources that are available in the country, but maybe not at their home universities. We'd like to support the community of science in South Africa, especially in the fundamental areas of physics and math, and the other, of course, areas in NITheCS. There's the challenges, the non-trivial challenges of credit for students and for faculty, but really, I think we should focus on the opportunities that people have to engage with courses that are really taught at the absolute peak of world levels. I mean, I've heard comments that, oh, I took so-and-so's course, and then I went to Cambridge, and I at an MSc level, I learned less in the Cambridge course than what I learned at the course that was offered from SATACS. So really, we want you to participate, and we would like that very much. There was, I think, one question that was asked. Yes, again, there was a question about promoting the project, and maybe we could look at courses, especially at the honors level, related to the bigger picture of NITheCS fields, offer supportive courses for the usual difficult or high rate of failure courses in general. And I would suggest, please, if you're interested in applying to provide a course, we welcome all applications. They will be considered very seriously. The idea of basic courses is also something that we're very interested in supporting. Basic courses, also bridging courses, for students to come up to a level to engage with high-level master's courses. If people would like to volunteer their time and effort to create such courses, we absolutely deeply welcome such applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. And Miek, your turn.
I think most of what needed to be said has been said. So let me perhaps add. Eder posted the link to course to the Nga Coursework website for if you are a faculty member who would and if you're thinking about presenting a course, the procedure for applying is very simple. Basically, what we need is a course content statement and prerequisites, and we will then discuss it with the Nga. And apart from thinking about the course content and actually delivering the course, the hope is that we take care of as much of the administration as possible, so that the academic can focus on actually the teaching without needing to worry about any of the administration. Let me also add, reiterate the reason why I'm here is I did my master's in the Netherlands, and they have a huge coursework component in their master's training for their students. So the requirement in the Netherlands is to do 10 semester courses at master's level and write a thesis over 2 years. And from my own experience, it's a very tough thing to do 10 semester courses at such a high level, but I would not trade it for anything. I don't use half of the things that I learned in those 10 courses, but it gave me a much broader base to build my career on, and to have an idea of, let's say, general mathematical thinking and mathematical maturity that my greatest wish is that we can develop something like that for our students in South Africa, because we have a lot of potential in this country. If we can but nurture it appropriately, we can do great things in this country, I think. And
Thank you,
let me end with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miek. And I see Loyiso just switched on his video. I don't know, Loyiso, if you would like to share a final comment, if you wish so.
No, not really. I thought I would listen in because I'm a very big fan of this project, and it's important to gauge the response of the community, because as Miek was saying that we need to strengthen our disciplines, and in some instances, those initiatives should come from us within the academic communities, rather than maybe the department saying this year you should teach so many courses, or students no longer see this as viable. I think we all are passionate about the future of our disciplines, and that it thrives and survives. I mean, it will survive, it thrives, and a focus on students who have chosen mathematics. Okay, I'm being parochial. It's not only mathematics, but you get what I mean. That students who have chosen a career in our disciplines should feel that they have the opportunity to realize their potential, and also be exposed to things that they may like, which may not have been available at their university. Professor Dube and I, at different years at the University of Fort Hare, we were one student honors class, and you can imagine that you have a lecturer who doesn't know much. They simply tell you to go and read the textbook and come back 2 weeks' time. So I wish something like this was in place during my early years. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. Really much appreciated. Thank you very much. And maybe as a final word on my side, let me share the result of our impromptu poll. Yeah, so it's very nice that we recruited 17 new lecturers. so please send us titles of the courses that you want to offer. So there seems to be a big majority of academics that were in the meeting this evening that support the teaching, and it's I think fairly natural, or not everybody is inclined to do so that we happily accept. But it's really encouraging to see that 100% of the students involved are happy to take part in such courses. Yeah, and they are and we are doing it for them. Yeah, so that's very critical. Yeah, we need many more students than lecturers to get such a program going. Yeah, so thank you very much to the students for being so willing to learn new things. Yeah, so that ends our little poll. Thank you very much. And I think that also ends our colloquium, our panel discussion. So thank you very much to all the panelists for, first of all, for having kickstarted these initiatives. Yeah, so thank you to you and to all the lecturers involved. And thank you, of course, for accepting to be with us here this evening. There is still lots to be done, because we will address the issue of how can we get students to earn the credits that they deserve. But we started, as David mentioned, the discussions with all the deans of sciences last week, and we will escalate it to the DAGT and see what we can do. And I'll ask thank you to all the participants. Thank you very much. And please propagate the news that there are these courses offered, and so that we can increase the audience and hopefully convince the various departments that support us to support us even more. Yeah, so that we can offer even more of these courses and get all universities in the country involved, and not just a majority. Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening, and please keep all up the excellent work that you're all doing. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. Take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.